Okay, so welcome to video number 2 of week number 3, Mass Control Promos. We just learned the triangle of trust strategy, or strategery, as I like to say, and now we're going to take some tactics which we can apply under the umbrella of that strategy. The first one is one that I call the affiliate boost tactic, and this is where you're going to use triangle of trust to A, hook your list up and be super cool to them, and B, sell other people's stuff. You can also use this method to sell your stuff, but what I'm going to show you is a campaign that I ran that you can model that made me a lot of money selling other people's stuff. So why are we talking about selling other people's stuff? Well, think about this. There are 52 weeks in a year. Let's say you have 10 products, right, that you're going to sell. That would be promoting each product for 5 consecutive weeks, a little more than 5 consecutive weeks of every year. So eventually you're probably going to have, and this is assuming you even have 10 products to promote, right? So a lot of people just have 1 or 2, 3 mainstay products, you know. So if this is the case, you have to be sending your list emails all the time to keep them engaged, and you want to make money as a result of doing so. And a great way to do both of those things is to sell other people's stuff. Now, where things go wrong typically with your competition is they do it the same way everybody else did it, which is to go, hey, buy this dude's stuff, right? And that works pretty good, but it can burn your list out, you know. So remember, I have this whole bank of goodwill thing where the more you help your list, that your balance in your goodwill bank account with your list gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I believe the amount of money that your list or your client's list will spend with you is in direct proportion to your balance of goodwill. So when you sell other people's stuff, you need to do it in a way that builds goodwill, and that is what this method is all about. So thing number 1 is we want to start out with something cool, okay? So I know, very, very technically elaborate terminology we're using today in this video. But here's the deal. There's a myriad of things that you could sell. And don't just pick something to sell to your list because you think it will convert or something, right? Remember, always keep this in mind, that your list is at point A, they want to be at point B, right? So choose a product which is going to get them closer to point B, right? Something that's really, really good and that will really, really help them. I know you do this anyway, but there's probably like 2 dudes that are taking this course that might not. So you 2 guys specifically do this. So first, you choose something cool to promote. Second, you make a decision to engage and educate your prospects about the area of this journey that the product addresses, right? So that sounds kind of weird. So let's go back here to the old drawing board. I'm kind of running out of room. I'll do it down here at the bottom. Now, look, let's take, there's a big wheel of internet marketing. So let's say this big wheel encompasses all of internet marketing, or hell, marketing in general, right? And we use marketing as a vehicle. Us as entrepreneurs, we use it as a vehicle to get from point A to point B, which is point A having X amount of customers and money, and point B having more customers and money, right? And usually for all of us, it's a specific number. So within this wheel of marketing, we have various channels, so to speak, that can and will help us get from point A to point B. So one channel would be email, right? Another channel would be video marketing. Another channel would be social media. Another channel would be affiliate marketing, and so forth and so on. You know, and there's a gazillion little different channels, right? So let's say your channel is about social media, and the thing that is cool that you want to promote is about email marketing, for example. Well, when you make the decision to engage and educate, you now decide to use the triangle of trust technique to give content to your list that engages them and educates them on how to use tools within the channel that the thing you're promoting represents or deals with, right, to get from point A to point B. Sounds a little bit hard to understand, so that's why I'm going to now walk you through the very first campaign that I ever did that used this method specifically. And it was a campaign that sold a very, very cheap little ebook, and it ended up making me a lot of money. I'll show you actually my balance. I'll go way back in time. And I'll show you my balance from the archives on exactly how much money this brought in. And equally as important, generated a tremendous amount of goodwill. So watch this case study and I'll see you back here in a sec. Okay, let's see here. So we got the old FrankKern.tv up. This isn't going to be up for long. So if you try to go to this site, you might see a sold out thing. That's okay. I'm actually finished with the promotion now. So what you're going to hear is... Hey everybody, Frank Kern here. And you're going to hear the video on the computer, and then you'll hear me walking you through it a little bit, director's cut style. All right, so as you can see, we get straight to the point with this. Now, I usually do like, if you've studied video black box or anything, and if you haven't, I strongly suggest you do. Assuming you want to make videos that sell, of course. I usually do a pattern interrupt with this, but because everybody had been doing like pattern interrupt style videos, I just got straight to the point. Plus, me dressed semi-nicely holding a big-ass question mark thing is a little bit of a pattern interrupt, right? So the purpose of this video is just to make a quick, brief, to-the-point pitch, which I recommend you model because it worked really, really well. And we'll keep rolling on here. I've been doing the unthinkable lately, which is why you haven't heard from me. I've been working real hard on an as-yet titled mystery book. That's right, I'm in the middle of writing an actual book, and here's the draft of it, and as you can tell, I've got this very professional cover with the question mark on it. It's because I really don't know what I'm going to call the book yet. This is sort of a labor of love for me, and what the book is about is my journey from 2007 or so until right about now, creating some of the biggest and most successful internet marketing campaigns in the history of our industry. So this book is kind of a tell-all, behind the scenes, how I did it, what worked, a little bit of theory, and a lot of tactics. And here's the reason I'm making this video for you. I would like your help with two things. One, I'd love you to scan this thing over for me. This is just the draft. It's about 141 pages. It's about half of what the book will be. I'd like you to scan it over for me, give me some feedback, and maybe help me come up with a better title than Big Question Mark on Cover. Although that would be kind of awesome if it went on to be a good seller and it was called Big Question Mark on Cover by Frank Kern at Business. Okay, so if you'll recall from earlier when I had the very fancy, expertly produced keynote presentation open for you, part of this offer that you need to have when you're giving away something really, really cool for next to nothing is a reason why you're doing it. Otherwise, people will suspect the dreaded shenanigans. And you don't want any shenanigans. Shenanigans are no good unless you declare them on someone else, and then it's pretty fun. Get your brooms. But you got to have the reason why. So right there, we start out straight to the point. I got this thing for you. I think you're going to like it. Here's why I'm doing it, right? So that's going to be your pattern to follow, really. Get to the point. Tell them what you got. Here's why I'm doing it. So we'll move on. How to, but strangely I don't see that happening. So if you would help me out with that, I'd really appreciate it. I want to give you this for free. I want to mail it to you. If you cover shipping $6 whole for shipping, no matter where you are in the world, I might make $1 if you live next door to me, but chances are I'm going to go in the hole on this. Don't really care. I've printed up 1,000 of these drafts, and the person who gives me the coolest title idea, which I select personally, will get a half day of consulting with me here at my La Jolla secret headquarters on your business. Now, this book is not a work of fiction. This is okay, so I'll stop you there. The reward, I don't know if it's particularly necessary. I genuinely wanted feedback on the title. I'm embarrassed to tell you, I got nothing. The damn I don't know why. I've never had writer's block in my life, but I'm having the worst time coming up with the title. I think it's because I'm trying to actually come up with the title, you know, because it's for people who don't know me. Like, this book is going to be seen potentially by normal people instead of weirdos like us. So I'm genuinely trying to incentivize people to actually help me with the title. I don't know if that's necessary for you. I don't know if incentive is actually going to be something I would put in your template for this promotional strategy. So if you want to, you can have step 1, tell them what you got. Step 2, tell them the reason why you're doing it. Step 3, incentivize, and then put in parentheses, optional. Okay? So let's keep on rolling. It's not really a theoretical, like autobiographical thing. This is really the inside story of how I built some of the largest and most successful campaigns in the history of our community. And it also talks a little bit about the evolution of the community, and more specifically, it is full of tactical information, case studies, and swipe files that you can put to work in your business if you choose to. They work pretty good for me. Chances are they might work pretty good for you. So that's my big offer. There's no membership or anything with this. All right, so if you'll recall from years and years ago, I taught something for free, actually, and it's the three-part sales pitch formula. And the three-part sales pitch formula is here's what I got, here's what it's going to do for you, and here's what I want you to do next. So we're not really following a three-part sales pitch for you. What we're really following right now is here's what I got, here's why I'm doing it, and now this portion is going to be the here's what it'll do for you. So everything I just said between that last little outtake and right now is the here's what it's going to do for you part. I'm telling you, hey, it's got some tactical stuff you might want to use in your business. It'll work pretty good for me. It might work for you. That's the here's what it's going to do for you type of thing. The only reason I'm even deviating from the three-part formula at all and adding in the here's why I'm doing it is because it's very, very unusual for me to offer something that's inexpensive, as in like never heard of. You know, like the other stuff that I sell besides this course is $8,000. So, you know, or I do consulting, or very rarely do I do any private client work anymore because it's a pain in the ass. But I don't sell inexpensive stuff, so I almost had to like sell the fact that it's cheap and overcome that shenanigans barrier. So, again, if you're writing this down, step 1, here's what I got. Step 2, here's why I'm doing it. Step 3, optional, incentivize, right? Which is, in my case for this video, was, hey, I'll like fly out here and give you a half-day consulting if I choose your title. Step number 4 is going to be here's what this thing I have for you is going to do for you. And now we'll ease on into step 5. Here we go. There's no continuity. You're not going to get like signed up for anything weird. I just would really love to give this to you because you've been one of my subscribers forever, and I appreciate that. And frankly, I'm kind of weirded out about putting this book out. I don't have the damn title for it, and I think the big question mark is not really going to cut it. So I'll send you this thing for free. It's very, very good. You tell me what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the other half, and give me a title idea. If I choose your title, half a day consulting with me here in La Jolla, we could even squeeze in the old surf session if you're up to it. All right, cool. Thanks a lot. So somewhere on this website, there's going to be a little button. Click the button. I'll send it to you. $6 whole. Once again, no shenanigans, no newsletter sign up or forced continuity or any of that crap. Just really value your opinion, and would love to send this to you. So thanks for watching this very professionally produced video about my extremely professional looking draft of my as yet to be titled book. I hope you let me send it to you, and regardless, I look forward to talking to you soon. All right, see you. Okay, so really, really cut and dry. That last part was the here's what I want you to do next. You know, give me $6 and I'll send you the book, right? And you saw me sell against that forced continuity thing. I don't know if it's necessary in your market. This is where it's important for you to know what's going on in your marketplace. I thought it was necessary in mine because so many people have done the old give me some money and I'll give you something cheap and then I'll sign you up for my forced continuity thing. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're obnoxious about disclosing the fact that it's forced continuity. You know, I mean, I've actually done it once. I did it in 2008, and I said, I'm here with a blatant and shameless bribe to get you to try my continuity program. Here's what I'm doing to get you to do it. So if you want to do it like that, it's okay, ethically speaking. You know, obviously, you know, check with your attorney and all that kind of stuff. Don't take any legal advice from me, for the love of God. But I still don't think it really is as effective as going forward with higher priced one-click upsells, as you're going to see. Now, this thing converted like crazy. This whole pitch, even the cold traffic, last time I checked, was like 13%, which is killer. You know, really, really, really strong. 13% of the visitors were buying. Now, that's from Facebook traffic, by the way, that I was sending to this book promotion. And then it dropped down after a while. It ended up dropping down to 6%. I do remember this now. And I'll still take 6% all day, right? Because I'm getting the damn names and it's self-liquidating. So it's awesome. So model that video pitch. That's how you do the first pitch to get them into the gate. There's nothing to it. You know, step 1, here's what I got. Step 2, here's why I'm doing it. Step 3, optional. Here's what I'll do for you if you check this thing out. Step 4, here's what the thing I'm going to send you is going to do for you. Step 5, here's what I want you to do next, including, if necessary, selling against fears. And in my case, the fear was the, well, what if it's forced continuity, which it wasn't. All right, so that's what you do. So when people bought, they came to the next page, which is the first one-click upsell. Okie dokie, so here we is, after people's orders go through. This is the first one-click upsell page of 2, and this is for Video Black Box, and this got the majority of the one-click upsell money. It's roughly 300% more than the next one, and I believe it's because of the relevance, right? So here we go, I'll walk you through it. Thank you so much for checking out this book, or the beginnings of the book, and helping me come up with a title idea. Although, I gotta say, book with a big question mark on the cover is starting to grow on me a little bit. Listen, while we're at it, I'd like to give you something else if you're interested in it. Now, you just made a purchase from me as a result of watching a video, right? Now, boom. Remember I said relevance? Now we're tying it all in. So if we wanted to template this out into step by step, step one is thank you and acknowledge. So you notice I said, hey, thank you for ordering this. I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. Step number two is begin relevance. So now I'm beginning relevance. You heard me. I just said, hey, you just purchased something as a result of watching a video. So here's where we tie it all together. I'm sure you've probably done that before, whether it was with me or with somebody else. So there's no question at all that videos work in marketing. Okay, now what I'm doing right there is I'm anchoring to past experience. And this really helps validate the relevance, right? So A, it's relevant because people just bought from a video and I'm about to pitch something that has to do with videos. B, I'm anchoring past experience because if they're one of my customers or really one of anybody's customers these days in the internet marketing world, they bought something because they saw a video. Because most people use video now, they don't use sales letters. I'm still not entirely convinced video outpulls sales letters. I've never split tested the two. I just know for me it's easier to shoot a video than it is to write a sales letter. So if we wanted to template this out, step one, thank you and acknowledge. Step two, begin relevance. Step three, anchor from past experience. Right, so here we go. Good news about that is they're actually very, very easy to make. And what I've done is I've created a product which I've never put on the market before called Video Black Box. And you might have heard about it before. I've given it to some people as bonuses with some other products, but I've never put it on the market by itself. However, the people that I've given it to have said hands down that it is the single best product of its type they have ever seen. And the reason why is simple. You probably have seen other videos by me. That's kind of how I built my brand. Now, if you remember, just a minute ago, we talked about that three-step formula for selling something. Here's what I got. Here's what it's going to do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. This is pretty much, we're now like in the middle of, or probably nearing the conclusion of the here's what I got phase. Right? So we've done thank you and acknowledge, establish relevance, anchor to past experience, and now here's what I got. Brand online is by video marketing. And the fact of the matter is the videos I've created personally and helped create behind the scenes have been some of the single most profitable, highest grossing sales and marketing videos in the history of our industry. And I have a little secret. Every single video I've ever done follows a simple three-step process. And what I've done in Video Black Box is I have broken down this process into all three steps, and I walk you through exactly how to do it in your videos. And I solidify it for you and really bring it home by taking my most popular, highest grossing, highest converting videos and walk you through each one across multiple different products and multiple different launches so you can really see these three simple steps in action so you can model after them. So if you like to know how to make videos that actually convert. Okay, so if you remember what's step two of the three-part formula, here's what it's going to do for you. So right now we're wrapping up that here's what it's going to do for you phase. Here's what you're going to get, right? You're going to learn these three steps. These three steps are going to help you make videos that actually convert customers into, or rather convert prospects into buyers and so forth and so on. So really, really simple and straightforward. So again, to reiterate, part one of the video was thank you and acknowledge. Part two was establish relevance. Part three is anchor to past experience, which if you can't anchor to past experience, that's okay. But if you were doing tomato gardening, for example, you'd say, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for buying my hydroponic watering system. I'm sure that you're really going to enjoy it. I'm going to send it to you in just a second, and I really commend you on your commitment to growing bigger tomatoes and being greener with this hydroponic watering system. And as you probably know from experience, hydroponic tomatoes are some of the best tasting and the largest tomatoes in the world. But what people don't often tell you, and you probably always suspected, is it's not just the water. It's also the nutrients. And if you like to try some really cool new nutrients that have been working great for me, then I've got something exciting for you. It's called Super Nutrient 2000 and then blah, blah, blah. And that was, of course, the segue into the here's what I got thing for you. So now we are in the here's what it'll do for you thing, about to segue into here's what I want you to do next. So here we go. word and actually sell and position you as an expert instead of a cheesy salesperson, I really think you ought to check out Video Black Box. I'm offering it right now for $197. You can get instant access to it today, and I'm confident that you're going to love it. If you don't, for any reason, just let me know. You can keep all the stuff anyway because it's downloadable, right? And I'll give you an immediate refund. So you really can't lose with this if you want to learn how to do videos the right way. Listen, if you want to sell stuff on the internet, you've got to get a sales message out there, right? So you have two choices. You can either spend forever writing a sales letter, which is a pain in the ass, or you can crank out a camera, bust out a video in 15 minutes, and if you make the video right, you have an asset that can bring income into your business, potentially forever, right? So why not make this investment and learn how to create high-selling, cool videos that people are going to love watching forever.
Now, this is still obviously in the here's what it's going to do for you portion, and that's okay. If it's going to do a lot for them, you can take a while to tell them. So eventually, I'll quit yapping and get to the here's what you need to do next thing. Here we go.
It's $197, fully guaranteed. You get instant access to it right away. Go ahead and click the button now to add it to the order, or if you don't want it, that's cool as well.
Boom. So see, nothing to it. And of course, this is QuickSalesSystem.com, Chris Keel's creation, a beautiful creation here. He built all this for me. So when you click that little box, the add to order thing goes on, and you're gold, and you're good to go. Now, regardless of whether they accept this or not, they are taken to the next one-click upsell screen. So here's the final one-click upsell, and this one did not do as well, and I think the reason it didn't do as well is because, as you're about to see, I didn't really follow the three-step formula. Here's what I got, here's what's going to do for you, here's what I want you to do next, as well as I could have. So let's go. It still made me probably like, I don't know, $100,000, so I'll take it, you know, but it could have made more. All right, we'll wait for a second.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Listen, you know, now that we're here together, I want to share something interesting with you. For the past 3 years, up until this January, I have published a secret newsletter for $300 a month called Mass Control Monthly, and I had tons of subscribers. It was a wonderful ride. I just stopped publishing it in January so I could move on and shift my focus into a new direction in my business.
Now, what I want you to understand here, much to my dismay, is that everything said up to this point is completely irrelevant to the viewer. Like, no one could actually give a damn that I've produced a newsletter for all these years and I recently shut it down and I've shifted the focus of my business, because it has zero to do with them or their business. So that is mistake number one I made with this video. Awesome panther painting there, by the way, just showing you classy. That's how we do here in La Jolla. We have hand-painted gold leaf black panthers. If you were to zoom in on that, you'd see it has a gold tooth right about there, because that's the way we roll up in here. Anyway, so that's my mistake in that. Let's keep on going.
But I've written over 1,000 pages of stuff over those 3 years.
More stuff no one cares about.
And as I was putting this book project together, I started reviewing the past issues of Mass Control Monthly. I've got 3 of my favorites right here with me, and I'd like to share them with you. I really want to give these to you, and here's why. Listen, this whole internet marketing thing and whole business thing can overwhelm people and freak them out.
Now, I've barely gotten into a here's what I got phase of this, and I'm like weak in the here's what I got thing. So if I had to do this over, I would first go back and realize what the point of all 3 of these issues are, or is. I don't know the correct grammar on that thing, which you'll discover later in this pitch video. And then I would revise it and make it a little bit newer, spruce it up, and then my pitch would be like, okay, you know what? Thanks for being here with me right now. While we're here together, I want to share with you something really new and exciting I have. I've just come across some material that very few people have ever seen that's really, really helpful to you if you want to X, Y, Z. And here's what it's going to do for you specifically, or actually better, I'd say, here's what it is. I've got about 90-page manual, very, very cut and dry, simple and easy to use and to the point. It comes also with instructional DVDs. And what this is going to do for you is X, Y, Z. So you see there, boom, we're right into the pitch, cut and dry, no problem. Instead, I'm just rambling on like a fool here. Don't know what the hell I'm doing, really. But you can suffer through it with me, not to really learn what to do, but more to learn what not to do.
But there are really only 3 steps to the game, right? And these issues cover each step. So let me share with you what's in here. So the first issue I want to give you is probably one of the most helpful issues I've ever written. And the reason why is this. Like I said earlier, most people get totally overwhelmed and freaked out with this whole internet marketing thing. The fact of the matter is, it does not have to be complex. My belief is that any business, no matter what business it is, operates on only 3 pillars. That is pillar number one, getting prospects to pay attention to you. Pillar number two, converting those prospects into customers. And pillar number three, doing a great job so you can convert those customers into repeat buyers. That's all there is to it. With any business in the world, that's it. And in this particular issue,
So here's how this could have been done better, right? So if you remember that introduction I did, hey everybody, thanks a lot for being here with me. Now, while we're here together, I want to share with you something that's really exciting. I've got 3 things for you that are probably going to help you. First of all, if you're anything like me, you've probably felt overwhelmed with this whole online marketing thing because there's so much new stuff coming at you. I have good news. It really only boils down to 3 things. If you focus on these 3 things, regardless of what you do from this point forward, you're probably going to do okay. And here they are. You attract leads, thing 1. Thing number 2, you convert those leads into customers. And thing number 3 is you convert those customers into repeat customers. And if you just focus on those 3 things, you can really forget about everything else. And I have great news, and that's where I hold up that little thing. I'd say, I have this little manual for you where I really give you a great in-depth system for really focusing on those 3 things. And I walk you through every single bit of the process and blah, blah, blah. And then I would be on the here's what it's going to do for you phase. And then I would do the same thing with each of those, the remaining 2, as follows. Now let's go.
Through specific exercises and strategies that work with every one of those pillars. So I walk you through the most effective and simplest strategy and tactic for getting leads. I walk you through the simplest and most effective tactic for converting those leads into happy customers. And finally, I walk you through the simplest and most effective tactics for delivering your goods and services impeccably so that your customers will be happy and they'll be repeat customers. So you're absolutely going to love this particular issue. Now, like I said, every single issue was $300, and each issue comes with...
Now, this isn't the time for this, because nobody cares what the issues cost, right? They just want to know what it's going to do for them. So instead, I should move right into the next thing. So if I were doing this, I'd have said, so that's really what this is going to do for you, but we're not going to stop there. There's something else that's really important that I want to share with you, and then I would segue into the next issue.
DVDs with videos where I walk you through each exercise. It's very, very good and very, very helpful. Good news is, I'm not going to charge you $300, and I'm going to give you more than one issue. So let me tell you about the second issue I want to share with you. All right, so you remember, we said there are 3 pillars of business, right? Pillar number 1, get leads. We go over getting leads in the issue I just shared with you. We also go over converting those leads into happy customers. In the second issue, we're really going to focus on that, converting leads into customers. The reason I've chosen this for you is because this issue walks you through the highest converting sales letter I have ever written. And here's what's interesting. This letter, I just tested it out right around September. This letter was sent to 1,000 people. It generated $200,000 in sales for me. It took me 15 minutes to write, and it's under 3 pages long. So anyone who tells you that writing sales letters has to be like sweating blood or something, they're just trying too hard. They're working too hard. In this issue, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I wrote that letter, and I'm going to walk you through the sales process I use, or rather the sales letter writing process I use that enables you to just crank them out, just bust out sales letters in 15 minutes or so, and do it in a way where you get your message across that works. You don't have to write a 9,000-page opus to get sales, right? It's really not that hard. This issue is going to totally demystify that process for it, and if you apply what I teach you, you can put this issue down, crank out a sales letter, and you may very well have an asset now that's going to pay your business for years and years to come.
So all this was pretty good, right? I probably should have been a little bit more concise in this. So the beginning of this segment would have been something like, now listen, you can get all the leads you want, and that's lovely, but hey, 1,000,000 leads aren't going to do any good if you can't convert them. And here's the deal. Converting leads is not as difficult as everyone makes it out to be if you know what you're doing. So what I want to do is I've really written a manuscript giving you one of my highest converting pieces of all time. And the good news is it was only 3 pages long. It took me 15 minutes to write. So this is all about cranking out high converting sales pieces in minimum time so you can make maximum profit. And here's what else it's going to do, and blah, 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 just like that, right? So it was a little wordy, but it's getting better. You can see I'm kind of getting a little bit better on my feet here. But I'm totally off the formula. So what I'm doing for you in this commentary is just really showing you how I would fix this video, because I feel compelled to show you the video because it was part of the promotion, but I don't want you to model this video because it's not that good. I want you to model the fixed version, or really just model another version of the last one I showed you, which converted so incredibly well. Just template another product for it in thing number 2.
This one also comes with videos that walk you through everything. This also sold for $300 by itself. I'm not going to charge you $300, and I'm not done giving you stuff. So, like I said, the last pillar of business is to deliver your service or your product impeccably to keep those customers very happy so they'll become repeat customers. And that's what this third issue is all about. It's about how to conduct yourself so you create and perpetuate legend within your market. Like every market has this big major player who's like the legendary player in that market, the player that commands the highest prices, that gets the most attention, gets the most customers, is in the most demand. And
You know what's interesting now as I'm watching this video is forever and it converted horribly because I'm clearly just rambling. So if we had to do it again, and I really, I know I'm just kind of beating this into the ground, but it's important for me that you see what went wrong. And it's not that it went terribly wrong. I'll take the 100 G's. Hell, it's awesome. But it could have been like an additional 250 or something had I done it properly. Right? So I'm just rambling on and on here. So if I had to do it all over, I definitely would have combined all three of these things into a new product. I'd have spruced it up, which would have taken a day. Made it a little audio with it or something, or just made it a little cooler, found some ways to make it better and more awesome, and called it something new. Right? Because only a couple hundred people ever saw these issues anyway. I never blew up that newsletter very large. I didn't feel like it, And then I would have said, hey, okay, while we're here together, I've got something I really think is going to help you. Now listen, if you're anything like me, you probably felt overwhelmed online. As a matter of fact, I surveyed a lot of customers, and that's the number one reason they don't accomplish their goals is they feel overwhelmed. Well, I got the cure for it right now, regardless of whether you buy anything from me ever again. Here it is. There are three pillars of business. You got to get leads, you got to convert leads, and you got to turn those customers into repeat customers. If you focus on that, that's all you got to do, right? And that's why I've just created this brand new product for you, and it's called Whatever. Okay, and here's what it's going to do for you specifically. It's going to walk you through exactly what you need to do to just do those three things. There's no fluff in this thing. It's less than 100 pages long, and it comes with about an hour and a half of video, and it's kind of like I was in your home with you, walking you through this process. And that's exactly what you want, because why in the world would you want to bog yourself down with another 9 million DVDs and another 2,000-page manual? Listen, this business doesn't have to be hard. So here's how you're going to learn to attract leads, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you're going to learn to convert those leads into customers, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you're going to learn to convert those customers into ecstatic repeat customers, blah, blah, blah. Now here's what I want you to do. This product isn't available anywhere right now. You can only get it right here. I'm going to test it out at a price for $197. If you think it'll benefit you, you're probably right. Go ahead and try it out today. If for any reason you don't like it, just let me know and I'll give you a refund, just like everything else I order, but I really, really think it'll help you. That is a better version of that pitch, right? And of course I could polish it up. I'm just doing that on the fly. But all this rambling stuff was unnecessary. I clearly just wasn't on my game that day. It happens to the best of us, right? But regardless, even though I just botched this pitch and did horribly, the whole thing worked beautifully, right? I still kind of did it wrong, and I got 6,000 people on a direct mail list, which is great. I spread a tremendous amount of goodwill. I've gotten some great book title suggestions, so that problem's going to be solved. Actually, I'm having them all printed into a separate book that I'm going to read because I got so many. I'm not about to read all that on the computer. It'll fry my eyes. And I made almost $300,000. So, hell, if I had to do it all over again, I really wouldn't change anything. But if I could, I'd have made this last pitch a little bit better. So I'm not going to make you suffer through this last one anymore. I think you know how to fix it. I just wanted to show it to you because it was there, and I didn't want to hide anything from you, and kind of show you how I could make this better. But that is the beginning of this book pitch. Now, the rest of it involves some more automated stuff and some direct mail campaigns, which are going to show you in other promotional strategies. If you only do this portion, you're probably going to make a lot more money than you would if you promoted the next big launch, or if you created a big giant product or something. Well, I don't know. You could probably make more if you did a product launch, but your level of goodwill is going to be very, very high with this as well. And then you're going to have this back end stuff that I'm going to walk you through in later promotional strategies. So this is beautiful. I've given you the resources to use to implement this kind of stuff. It spreads a lot of goodwill, and it just works like crazy. And you got two pieces of homework for the beginning, right? You see there? Pretty easy. You know what I mean? But again, remember our formula, and remember and notice really how the video I just showed you stuck to the formula. So, here, I'll move over here. Our video formula, this is where you gotta really pay attention. This is the part where you don't want to mess it up. It'll blow up in your face unless you follow this formula. So if this is the video that you put on your blog, you have your 5% entertainment and intro, which I didn't really have that much of an entertaining intro in this video. I was like, hey, here's some content, right? So
Even if you don't feel like being entertaining and have a cool intro, you can just skip that, but it's best to break the pattern. Then you've got your 90% usable content, right, which you saw in the video. I showed them those pillars of email marketing about the subject lines and all that kind of stuff, and really explained some things that a lot of people don't consider in their email marketing, so they could really amplify their results just by using what I gave them in that video. And then, well, here's our 90%, and then the final 5% was the subtle call to action there. So because we're going to try to take it easy this week, I know I overloaded you last week with technical stuff, I want you to go ahead and implement this campaign. Basically all you got to do, if you model what I did, was create a little keynote presentation that teaches some people some cool stuff about how they can use the strategies taught in the cool product that you're endorsing to help them get from point A to point B. AKA teach them some stuff and then make the very subtle call to action. Be like, hey, if you like that, you might enjoy this thing by these dudes or whatever. I know it's silly, right? But it works so very, very well. And because I've kind of worked you to death over the past 2 weeks, this is something that you can just create in a day. Let's forget about a day. Really, you can create this in 2 hours max, right? And then add it to your autoresponder sequence, send it out to your list this afternoon, and add it to your autoresponder sequence to use forever if you want to. And you will probably, as a result, make money by this time tomorrow and have more goodwill with your list, right? So get cracking on that. And also, staying true with the spirit of giving you a lot of stuff, I'm going to overwhelm you just a little bit with one more technique. But trust me, if you even thought this one was easy, the next one I'm going to show you is even easier, right? So I'll see you in the next video, but don't let the fact that we have another video coming up get you off the hook for running this campaign this week. Promise? Cool. That's why you bought this, right? It's to make more money. Run this campaign, you'll make more money. Okay, I'll see you in the